This ain't your average healing chat. It's healing through conversations with me, Loveli Brown. Real talk, deep healing, zero fluff.
Hey guys, this is Lovely with Lovely Esteem, and welcome back to the Healing Through Conversations podcast. This is the final episode for season 5. I am so excited because it's been such a spiritually uplifting podcast season. It has been a connective podcast season. It has been an enjoyable podcast season. Like every single guest has brought so much energy and joy and connectiveness into my life. And I just feel like them allowing me to take their time, like to take up their time and to be in this space with them it's been a blessing. And I feel like when you can have those moments with people, you should absolutely just take a moment and really thank the universe, your ancestors, and your spiritual self for what's happening because but God, right? And today I get to speak to a beautiful human, Miss Kayla Taylor, who is Glow With Kayla on all platforms. She's a styling manager, a self-love influencer, and she's one of those people who is really built in building your boldness, like just highlighting who you are, making you understand that you are not a mistake. You are here for a reason. And she has been in fashion school. She's gone through the burnout. She has worked on healing herself, learning about self expression, coming back from things that could have really broken her down, and it never did. And so I feel like you guys are going to enjoy this episode because it's not only about fashion, it's about faith. And when you have enough faith to run into fear, darling, ain't nobody can stop you. I'm just saying. So, y'all enjoy the podcast. Hey guys, this is Lovely with Lovely Esteem, and welcome back to the Healing Through Conversations podcast. If you're not following the podcast, you really need to. We have some beautiful spirits who connect with us on such a deeper level. We talk about success and failures. We talk about what it's like to be moms, girlfriends, business people, spiritual people, ratchet people, whatever you want. We got a little bit of something for you. But this podcast, this recording is so special to me because this is the last podcast for season 5. Like, it ended so perfectly. And I was like, thank you so much for, I wanted to invite somebody on who was creative, but who was they were connected with their spirit. They were connected with their style. They are learning about their identity and they know how to take time away from all of it to reconnect with themselves and their family. And how beautiful is that? So today we have Miss Kayla Taylor on the podcast. And as I said in my little video, I wasn't stalking her. I just happened to have seen her video and thought to myself, I want to talk to her. I want to connect with her. I want to learn more about her. And what it was just, I love when somebody's authentically them, but they aren't afraid of change. They aren't afraid of connecting with people in different ways. And it wasn't just the color palette, it wasn't just the smile, it wasn't just the hair. It was like the aura that she carried. And I was like, if I could just, I'm gonna send her a DM. Hey, I'm not a creepy lady. I just happen to be on Instagram. Check out my information and see how it works. And if you like it, we can connect. Because I know them little DMs, you'd be like, I'm ignoring that. What's that? Who that is? Who gonna be there? And I was like, I ain't gonna do that. So, Miss Kayla, thank you for being on the podcast. Please introduce us to yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I am just so blessed to be here, y'all. And I will say, I am, oh Lord, how old am I now? I am 31. I will be 32 in September. And for all my September babies, hey. I am married. I am in Cincinnati, Ohio currently. And professionally, I am a styling manager for an online styling company. that I love. And I'm also a content creator. And the name of my brand is Glow with Kayla. And it really just focuses not just on style and the glow, just, inward and outward, but just really giving yourself permission to just be yourself and be okay with how God made you. And we'll get into that today, but just it's been a journey to get there. I think it took me about 30 years to kind of really figure out what that glow looked like for me. So just so happy to be here and talking to y'all today. And yeah, just
So
feeling.
look, I'm so excited about this. Let me tell you guys why I'm excited about this because I'm 49 and I love when I get to meet people who are connecting with themselves earlier and earlier in life. Like it means something as a Black woman to see another Black woman find herself earlier than you found yourself. It is like something healing in that it's something that it's almost like it helps free you a little bit, right? You're like, "Hey, I want you to see yourself so much sooner than I saw myself." And that doesn't always mean that we're fully healed because you're going to be on a healing journey for the rest of your life. But learning that you're divine and realizing that if you are made in the eyes of God, you are already so beautiful because he doesn't create ugly things, right? And that to me is great. So like tell us about your entrance into the fashion community and what it was like to like those first years of style and identity.
So I would say I'm gonna take y'all all the way back. Um, my grandmother really set the tone for how I view my style. My grandma was probably one of the sharpest people I had ever seen. When I tell you I would look up at her, she was so strong, but she was so confident. And I'm like, I felt like nothing could shake her. And I would literally see her walk into rooms and just take up space.
Mm.
And I was just like, whoa, I love this. Like I was just like, how is she this fly? And then I started kind of mimicking her style. But I was already a really extra kid. I'm just being honest with y'all. Okay. I'm just naturally just like a very extra person. Like I was wearing like gloves at like the dinner table and like had my hair and like the waterfall. Like you really could not tell me nothing. And so when my love for bright colors played a big deal and it came down to like my hairstyles, y'all, I had every hair color you can think of, from blues to purples to reds, every box braid, twist, crochet. I mean, I had it all leading up to probably the end of college. And I would say that a quote that stood out to me actually recently was at the pre-Met Gala, and Coleman Domingo was talking. And he said, I was cracking up because I was like, this man is saying this in front of all these white people, and I love him so much. He said, God created Black people and Black people created style. But that was a quote from George C. Wolfe, who is an American playwright and director. And I think when I think about style, I instantly think of the culture, right? Like I think about us being so resilient and us speaking through our clothing, right? Like
Mm.
we set the tone anyway, right? Lovely. So I think that I always knew I wanted to do style. I kind of got pushed a little bit from my mother and her sisters, aka my aunts, because they were all educators.
Mm.
Okay, that sounds cute. But I immediately got to school and was came in undecided, and I quickly learned I didn't want to do education. I think I would have been great at it, but I'm like, I can't do it. Like it's not in me. And so it was great to get the technical skills, but I think it just affirmed me. Like it affirmed the creativity that I had in me from the first class that I ever took, which was a textiles class. It was so cool.
Yes.
And like just learning the why behind the garments, how they are constructed, like what makes them flattering on the body. And, it just really taught me that fashion is just so much more than the surface. It's all storytelling, right?
Absolutely. That is such a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
such I don't even look real quick. When you said textiles, are you a toucher? Are you a feeler? Okay, I just because that's me.
Had to touch, like I didn't have a choice. I'm like, I can't not feel the fabrics. I have to be able to see them. What I loved about, because my degree is in apparel merchandising, I didn't go the design route, but they still taught us how to sew and things like that. But it was just so amazing to be able to learn how to sew and piece certain things together that I wouldn't normally put together. Like it was just so interesting to kind of see the teacher show us how all these garments were made. Like even something back to like the early 1900s, we were able to kind of see how that was made. So it's really cool. And I think another thing that I really enjoyed about going to fashion school, and I hope that somebody is watching this who is interested in going to fashion school, there will be a course, prayerfully. I don't know. I went to Bowling Green State University, but um, they should be teaching you about the different styling eras. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to learn about each era is was my favorite because, honey, I'm like, I love the 50s style. I love 70s, 60s.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? When you
yes.
learn that, I almost fell out. And then you think about Black people, the political environment. I mean, we do everything through telling a story, honey. If there's a movement, we're gonna put it on, right?
We're gonna
But
wear it. We are gonna wear it. The protest is on the physical.
it's on. So we got to learn about those things. So I think that's really what just kind of shaped it for me.
No, I love that. And I love that you brought up the storytelling because one of the things that I think it's left out of Black history so much is fashion because everything is so much about the protest and the fight and the struggle, which is absolutely true. However, the amount of impact that our physical selves, the way God makes us, the way He shapes us, the way our hair is textured, the way that we can bring a pop of color to nothing,
Okay.
right? And the way that even our hair is the protest without a conversation. The fact that we are allowed to have these thighs and this body and these breasts and these shoulders and this nose that I love black nose. I love it. The fact that it is in absolute contrast with what you're told every day. However, we are what sells. We're what sells the product. Yes, it can look good on a different face, but we make it cool. We bring that extra je ne sais quoi to the outset. And I love that you absolutely went to school for fashion, but what brought you from behind the scenes into the front of the camera?
Let's talk about it.
Mm,
So I started out in retail. That was not my goal. My goal was actually to be a buyer. I had dreams of going to New York straight out. And then one of my homegirls was about to go out there and she's like, girl, I got a styling job out there. I was like, okay, girl, put me on. What's up? Like, I'm trying to move to New York. I was like, how much does it pay? She was like, girl, $12 an hour. I said, oh, I was like, yeah, I won't be able to join you. You know, realistically, it just wasn't going to work for me. And I absolutely wanted to just do it head on, make it happen. Did not happen. So I was kind of bummed out. I moved back home with my mom and I started out in retail. I could not get a buying job to save my life. I have applied every single place, even had an internship. It was just like impossible. So I started out just doing my thing as an associate. A manager who was a merchandising manager at the time, she kept picking on me. And I'm like, why does this lady keep picking on me? Girl, I don't even want to be here for real. Y'all getting on my nerves. I'm tired. I'm hot. I'm running around. I done got 10,000 steps in 1 hour. Like, I'm dead. And she's just like, you're doing so well with those tables. And I was like, thanks. I was like, I've been doing this for a really long time because I've been working in the store since I was 16. And she was like, come into my office. I want to talk to you a little bit more. So then I told her what I did. She was like, oh my God, you have a fashion degree. You're killing these tables. She was like, have you thought about being a merchandising manager? I was like, not really, but can you tell me what that means? Like, what does that entail? And she shared with me what it was. And it was mainly just being in charge of putting certain things on the floor. It wasn't necessarily the visual with the mannequins, but all of the work that merchandisers do is what you see on every table, how the racks are set up, right? We do all of those floor plans
We're the style for the building.
for the building.
Yeah.
Like when you walk into a store and you see it's laid out, honey, a merchandising manager did what needed to be done. So I ended up taking that job, did that for a few years, worked my way up to a store manager. The last SM role that I had was at with the Loft. And I would tell you that retail really humbles you. And so if anybody is in retail that is watching this, if you are a manager all the way down to an associate, know that you are seen and heard and loved and valued. You matter, right? And I have to tell them that because it was to the point where people don't necessarily respect what you do. And it was like I felt like I had to keep over sharing of like, oh well, this is what I do, because everybody's like, now what are you like? I don't really understand. So at the end of the day, I think that people in retail just need more love altogether. But one thing I will say is when it comes to fashion overall, since I moved into this styling role that I have now, I have learned that fashion is very much psychological. And like I knew that before. Look,
Mm-hmm.
I knew that before, but I'm like, everything is tied to an emotion.
Absolutely.
Everything is tied to an emotion. I have learned that by working with these women. Keep in mind, I'm working with them virtually at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I see how much we carry when we get dressed, when it comes down to body image, self-worth, right? All of our stories. And it's just really just taught me, you know, um, confidence is not about fitting a trend, right? It's really just about us being seen at this point. And so I think that styling for me has become less about clothes and really just holding space for women to remember that they're already enough. Because
Yeah.
I get a lot of clients that come and they just beat down. It's like the world is just whooping them. And I'm like trying to affirm them through notes, right? Like I don't get to style as many clients as the stylist that I lead, but as I'm reviewing their work, I need to see that connection point, because I'm like, we might have missed the mark if we didn't really listen to them and make that connection. We had the time to do it. And so I think that's what I really enjoy most about just styling in general and retail spaces, because you can do the same thing in the store that I'm doing right now. You can do
Absolutely.
the thing that I'm doing right now and not work in a store at all.
But I think that that's a beautiful way to look at styling people, because one of the things that I love about fashion, it was never about the item. It was always about the feeling. It was always about, when people say stuff like, "Oh my God, where are you going?" I'm like, "Nowhere." But
Right?
today I woke up and I needed an extra boost of confidence, or maybe I felt a little thick in this space and not that space. Maybe I needed like to wear a little power color. Maybe I needed to show you, it's such a great conversational piece without even speaking. When you walk into a room and you are put together, when you feel put together, because you're put together and someone else is put together, two different things. And I think that when we are, the trends, I think, are all about community. When there's so many people, because they want to be a part of like the cool kids. And then you have us rebels who are out there trying to not be a part of the cool kids. But all of us are trying to be seen, heard, and felt and understood. And I think that that is what's beautiful, brings us down to what it looks like to talk about like self-confidence and perfectionism, and how that plays such a huge part in fashion. And how are you combating the low self-esteems that you're seeing out in the world, even for yourself, with the constant need for that that perfectionism that kind of like slips in, because it'd be slippery. You'd be like, everything's good, but this one hair, but this one hair, but this one.
When we talk about it, that one hair. Oh my God. I am literally sitting here cracking up because one thing about me, perfection has had me in a chokehold for a long, long time. And a lot of that stems from how I was raised. Like
Mm-hmm.
from my home, I'm an only child. My mother is an educator. She's on my butt 24/7. Everything has to be this way. Like, and I'm like, okay, that's a lot. But, me and my mom, we're very different, right? But I still have that perfectionism in me. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm recovering from that. And to be honest with you now, like, I've gotten a lot better, I think, with my content. Like, I would overthink every little thing. Like, I would overthink any voiceover from a caption, like the angle, like when you were just talking about the hair, like there's always something in my fro. I am like I was like looking at a video. I'm like, I know I did not just record this 14-minute video and I have this piece of like fro.
Baby cotton, but it wasn't there. The whole time you were staring at that screen, looking at yourself, it wasn't. And whatever the angle you hit,
I'm like, I promise it wasn't there. And I was showing my husband, he's like, I didn't even see that until you said something. But it's like I see it, right?
mm,
I see it. And so now I'm noticing when I don't care as much, the messiness is doing so much better for me. The
yes.
old college Kayla, you could tell when I'm trying too hard. It's like, Kayla, relax. Breathe.
Put your shoulders down. I can't. My shoulders, they like my ears. They hunched up.
You know what I'm saying? Breathe. I'm like, no, I'll breathe when the bit no, no. And so like I remember I would start filming and just delete every little thing. Like it's like stuff like that. It's like, no, you do not have to be polished to make impact on anybody, right? And like that is how self-doubt is always going to creep in. And you're going to want to shrink after that. You might quit what you're doing. And it's
Mm-hmm.
no, baby, this is meant for you. If you prayed about this and God said, yes, ma'am, go ahead and do it, then what you waiting for? Just
Hello.
do it. Put
Mm.
the on. Wear that outfit. Wear those earrings. What are you doing?
I promise you. And this is I always love when you get called out, but you don't get called out because we all call ourselves out so much, right? And I tell people all the time, listen, if it takes you 10 times to push send, if it takes you 10 times to push record, it's okay. Like one day you're going to push it the first recording. Tuesday, it might take 10 times. I said, and just allow yourself to, you're going to feel, especially with content creating, because you're talking to yourself so much, you're by yourself so much. And even when you do it with other people, they just happen to be actors, like paid actors in the video, but they're not as invested mentally as you are. So you're like, hey, listen to me. The next time you come through this door, I need you to be on an angle. They like, I don't want to do this no more, Grandpa. I don't like it. I don't like it no more. So I had to learn how to just be like, one, get used to my own voice. That's like a big tip I would say. Record yourself. Not that you need to always post, but like get used to watching yourself on camera. Just get used to it, or just hit send. Like just hit the button and let it go because you're gonna be looking back. My teeth. Well, what? When did that tooth get crooked? So, I thought I had covered this part. Well, it wasn't even. My bra strap was showing.
It don't matter. It literally does not matter. When you think about some of the more successful creators that have been doing this for a really long time, there is no way that every single thing they have produced has been polished. And if it is, they have an editor, they have somebody, a lot of money, a lot of people on their team to help them produce those things. But think about where they started. And
Mm-hmm.
it genuinely does not matter that much. I see creators who now there's a guy that blew up. He's so funny. And his camera be blurry, girl. That phone screen, I swear he ain't cleaning it. I know that for a fact. And we are freaking out. Honey, I'm wiping this every 5 minutes. He does not care. And he has millions of followers right now. Has
Just
built
like
Amazing community. The camera is not clean, but
And
he
that's
is
all we stuck on. We like, I can't see past what you're doing, sir. And he like, it don't matter because I got sponsorships coming in. I got money
does,
coming in.
does just moved to New York doing his thing. Like, honey, he's not worried. We shouldn't be either.
But and if you are, it's okay. Like you got to go through the phases though. Like I think that even in fashion, you have to try all the things. There's going to be the bangs that you were like, why did I think these bangs were going to be the bangs? It's going to be the one wig that you just knew was going to be your wig. And when you try it on, it's not going to work. But you spent all this money on that damn wig. Now you're trying to style it, but you didn't clip it too short on one side. And you didn't ask for a pixie. We got a pixie. We
Yeah, but yeah, you have to. I've done all the things. I'm a testament. You don't want to. I mean, listen, one day we can go there. Like that would have to be over wine, and I would have to show you the journey.
And I
We've come.
would take it because you'd be like, Lisa, so this wig right here, you thought this wig was the good wig? I did not at the time, but this all I had at the moment. But no, you really thought that this, this style right here was gonna be your signature style. Hey, 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 hey! I was 19. I was 19.
That
Okay,
was, that was the one.
I just I always look back at myself and be like, you really had a moment, like lots of different moments. I'm like, yeah, like it in other people's head. And what I love about your content is one, I do love how visually it is because it's not always like I don't like the word palatable because that's not what I'm looking for, but it gives you great textures. I love the difference in the shapes on your body. I love the difference in the patterns that you wear. I love that you do bright and then bright and then bright and then something real low. Like I love that about you. But that's experimenting, like you said, over years of trying to figure out who you are and what you bring to the table. And I'm like, I look polished now as a 49-year-old, but there was a time where I can look back at some pictures and was like, why was I dressed like I was going to pick up 4 kids in a minivan at the age of 22? Like,
That's hilarious.
I'm just,
We gotta go through it though,
you
and
got
those
to,
those are the moments that are shaping us at right now. And you never know. Look, 5 years from now, we might be looking back today like, girl, what was we doing then? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think we fly today. I think we fly today.
You
Got
know,
shoulders out. You're going to look back and be like, is that something in my hair? Look, it was not. There's nothing in your hair. That's in our head now. It's like, that's in your head. Oh man, this brings me to a question. But us talking about fashion, how did fashion become sacred to you? Like, how did you turn your love of fashion into something deeper?
mm, I love this question. You know, I would say that right now, more than ever, I'm really healing my inner child each time I wear these bold colors, these fun silhouettes. And I say that because kids are mean.
Mm,
Forget anything. See, that's my problem. I'm the type of person I will remember everything that's been said to me since I was a little girl. And my husband was like, how do you remember stuff like that? But when you're young like that and you're processing, listening to people, what they're saying to you, excuse me, what they're saying to you, um, it can kind of get played over and over in your head. It's like a recording.
them core memories.
Right. And so I remember I was with a group of people. I had went up to this school. My homegirl, she was a cheerleader, and I was at this game. And it was this guy I liked. I was like, oh, he's just so cute. Oh my gosh. And I remember talking to him, and I had those, remember when those skinny jeans, the colorful skinny jeans that was popping back in the day?
Yes.
Oh, yes. And of course I had them in every color because I asked my mom to get me. And I go up there and I had those on. I remember he was with a group of people. And he was like, why you got those skinny jeans on with that bright color? You too ugly to be wearing bright colors. And I looked at him, I was just like, excuse him, why? I was like, oh my God. And I was kind of taken aback. And then people were just laughing. I was just like, I cannot believe he said that. And I remember I just walked away because I was so mad because I was like, oh, this is somebody I liked and I don't like him anymore. And I remember after that, I just stopped. I wouldn't say I stopped wearing bright colors completely, but I was more cautious. Like I was playing it safe for a really long time. So,
Mm,
oh,
mm.
maybe I shouldn't stand
Oh.
out. I was really feeling,
Ah.
I know. And like, it took me a while. I think in college, that's when I started, popping off with the colors again. I was like, I don't care. And I care so much less now, but I go as bold as I want to because it's so healing for me.
Yes.
And I don't think people really understand like why people wear what they wear, right? Like there is a girlfriend of mine who was going through a really hard time. Something very, very bad happened to her. She would always wear bright colors like this. She didn't even want to be seen. So she wore blacks, grays all the time. She was like, I don't even want anybody to look at me. Right. And
Mm-hmm.
again, that was healing for her at that time.
Mm-hmm.
This is me healing my inner child because now I'm just like, I don't give a dang. Like you gonna see me walking in the room. And then other days I'm styling the woman who's grieving, right? Like who's just healing or just showing up. Like even on the hardest days, I do know for myself that getting dressed changes my whole mood
Absolutely.
and it's self-care for me, right? Like this is self-care for me is getting dressed
Mm-hmm.
because I know if I'm not, I might not be my best self that day, right? I'm just gonna lay around. I might go days without, putting something on, right? And I work from home, right? And I could obviously like not dress up at all. But I know how I feel when I put on something like this and I'm going into a Zoom call and I'm like, hello. And everybody's like, oh, wow, like, look at her. But it's like, this is how I take up space in a way. When I feel confident,
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting that on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to do too much, but like I'm gonna wear something that makes me feel good, and instantly I'm gonna feel better.
I love that. And I love 3 points. One, I think that healing your inner child is such a boss woman move because in your head you're thinking, well, does that mean hopscotch? Yes, it does if that's what you need to do. Like if that's what you need to do to heal that. But there's different versions of you that really need you to come back and make it safe for them to come out. Just even unlocking memories and things like that. But also understanding how you speak to people. And I know as children, it can be so easy to to join the crowd, right? But my husband used to say all the time when we were younger, he was like, you never laugh at anybody's joke. I'm like, because you never know where a person is. You never know what your last laugh is going to lead. If that's going to be the last time you're going to see that person, if that person is even strong enough to withstand that, and how it changes the trajectory of a person's future, that
Yep.
that thing is insane to me. And the third thing that I really just love about your boldness, not just in color, but you knowing what really helps make you feel therapeutic, because self-care can be seen as this like going to the spa, or it has to be meditation or yoga. No, baby, it's what makes you feel like you right now, right? Or it could be what made you feel like you back then, and you just bring it into who you are now without any kind of judgment, learning how to give yourself patience and grace, understanding that every day isn't going to be the day that you're the flyest. Because there's some day I'm like, my kids be like, Mom, what you doing? I'm like, I'm gonna go take a shower because what the hell is that? What is that smell? Like, I've been in the house all day. I wasn't gonna get dressed up, but I feel like my inner child was like, ew. And I was like, oh, let me
Yeah.
let me go see someone myself first.
Yes. I love that so much.
No. So let me say this. One of the things that I learned in fashion was about how spiritual the movement is for yourself. Be it if you're be a modest person, you are open book and everything hanging out but like one hair, whatever that thing is for you. But how much it really is symbolic for like self-worth and self-reflection, what it looks like to really take care of your mental self, but just your spiritual self, and how that connects with the glow up that we talk about all the time. And I want you to talk to us about what it looks like to let your spirit lead your journey through fashion, but even just more deeply than that, how it really connects you so much more with your belief system and your faith.
Yeah, I love this question a lot. Um, I would say that when I worked in the stores, I had a lot of dark days in retail. Retail was a beast for me, to the point where I started hating clothes.
Mm.
You get to the point where you look at a piece of clothing on the floor and it's like, I just can't, I don't have it in me. To the point where I wasn't dressing the way that I know. I'm like, I just got to get through the day, right? And so there was a lot of praying that I had to do for myself to really figure out where I'm supposed to be. It gets to the point where it's like, okay, is this truly where I'm supposed to be right now? Because it doesn't feel like it. I'm tired. I'm burned out. Like, what are you asking of me, Lord? Like, I would ask him, like, what? Because this is not really working out, right? But I also have to understand that there is a lot of struggle when you are about to step into your purpose. And I don't
Right.
realize because they give up so fast. And I was ready to throw in the towel. I was like, I ain't doing this no more. But I knew I had made such an impact on so many women. And I'm like, God, my clients, I'm going to let them down. Let me just stop trying to force myself to do something else when God is putting me here for a reason. And so I stopped begging. I stopped trying to look for other opportunities when I was in the stores and just let whatever is supposed to happen happen. And that's when I found where I am now, doing a more of a styling role. And that kind of came to me. I didn't have to look for that. And I was very surprised and like so grateful. And I thanked God over and over again because I was able to really just find a different outlet. But I think also this new role that I've been in, it's not even a new role anymore. Hello. Wow, we're 4 years in. But
Yeah, baby, you there.
I'm like, why am I making it seem like this is a new thing? But I would say that like this job has given me the outlet to really fuel my passion, and that's creation. I've always been a creative. Was a theater kid. I've done ballet, I've done the music, I've done everything you can think of. I've worked on sets. And I'm like, I knew there's something that I wanted to do where I can make connection and build connection with folks because that's something that people have told me over the years. And I think a lot of times you'll hear stuff from people, but you might not do anything with it. And when I think of the people that I've worked with, a lot of younger women will always be like, "You're so inspiring. Like, God, you're always getting me together. You're always pouring into me. Like, I don't deserve, but like, thank you." And I'm just like, I've been hearing this word inspire, and I'm like, I don't really feel like I'm inspiring you, but you're telling me I am. And I'm like, okay, maybe I need to dive into that a little bit more and see what that looks like. And so I think what I wanted to do was really just use social media for good, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you think about your faith and where you are in this world, right? And I'm on the internet and I'm seeing all of this crazy stuff that's going on. And I'm like, how can I be the light in this dark space? Right. Because it can be really dark,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
I'm like, God, I need you to use me in the best way. And so I didn't see the vision yet. I'm just being honest. I was just having a lot of fun, just posting some things. But I'm like, I know that there's some purpose in what I'm doing with Glow With Kayla, but I don't exactly know what that is. So every time I make content, I pray before. I would journal a lot to kind of figure out what path I wanted to take because I kept switching it up. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't even want to do styling at all. At the beginning of the platform, it was more of skincare. That was my thing. I'm like, oh, I gotta focus on skincare. I'm like, because this will give me an outlet because I'm already styling. And I'm like, why am I going against what God is telling me to do? This is what's resonating.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
We
where you
fight so hard. We be fist fighting faith all day long.
am I? And everybody's like, I don't get it. Why won't you just post more fashion? I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm already doing it. I was fighting God, like I over and over again. And he was telling me, like, it's right there. I don't know why you keep going against what I'm asking of you.
Just straight, the face you just made, that is really the way I feel like God be like,
He like, girl, I literally told you, I put it right there in front of you. And you said, nope, I want this. This is much better. This makes more sense. No, it doesn't. And a lot of things don't make sense. A lot of things
not
don't make
supposed to. It's not
it
supposed to.
was not clear at all. But I have found the grace from God to really just grow into what this is supposed to be. And I'm just letting him do his thing. I'm not holding back.
Look, and I think that that's so beautiful because a lot of us are we're trying to keep up with the Joneses, but we forget that the Joneses started somewhere. They had a beginning as well. And I will say that even for me, you guys see the shoes. I love shoes. Okay. I will not put my feet on the internet because I done got some weird DMs and I'm not doing that anymore. Now, pray for a girl, because it'd be weird in there. It'd be real weird in there. I don't want that. So I was like, I'm not that girl. I can't do it. But I love when I see people who glow from the inside out. There's something about watching a person find their purpose in the moment, because your purpose is going to be different 6 months from now. It's going to be different. Allow yourself to pivot and rebuild. Don't get stuck in the one space, because that's not, like, literally God is building a bridge for you, and you got to do the things, you got to unlock the levels in the game to get to the next place for real. And it's going to feel weird. You're like, but this isn't what I like to do. He's like, yeah, so every day you get dressed and you look nice, and every day somebody tell you that you look nice, but this not the thing that you do. No.
True. I was like, I think I'm gonna. It was that bad. And I was like, why am I fighting this? This has been your whole entire life. This is what you've been doing since you was a little girl. And you don't want to share it with the world. You just want to talk about your skin. You can talk about your skin too, but don't count that out. Don't count out your true gifts.
Like, it's just it's what we do to soothe ourselves. It's that inner child that's like, hey, remember that time that guy said something? That's not, we
Yep.
don't want to do that, right? That's literally, and then you got to be like, hey, we're safe now. You can wear your jeans.
Yes.
And we, you know what? I'm gonna wear the jeans, and I'm gonna wear every color ever made. And you know what? He can go sit 7 seats, seven more. Fall off that sucker. We don't have time for it.
Right.
No. So I'm gonna ask you 4 questions, and let's see how it works out. Okay. What's one of your non-negotiables in your glow up routine?
Honey, you have to have a fire tailored blazer.
Mm.
Honey, even on the off day, if you don't even want, when I tell you, there was a work trip that I went on and we had a little too much fun the night before. I pulled up with this bold red blazer. I think I literally had all black underneath, just not trying to do too much. I put that on. They was like, okay, you really tried to like, yes. And every woman should have a blazer, and you have to have a tailored blazer in your wardrobe. That's like my go-to. Any boss woman, she has to have that, period.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So the next one is style icon or spiritual inspiration. Which one?
Well, style icon. Well, my style icon has always been Rihanna. Uh,
We high five you on that.
because she's so unapologetic. Like, you cannot tell her nothing. She
Mm.
came out with an oversized jersey, some baggy pants, put on her little Yankees hat, and look like the flyest in the room with a red lip. She don't care. But that's always been my inspo. And I think it's deeper that she dresses nice, but it's also the confidence that she has with it that
Yes,
she
it's all in here. It's all in here.
embodies.
Yes,
That
yes.
girl.
I love, you know what?
That
I'm
girl.
not, like I said, I didn't stalk her. I just happened to be looking at her age.
That girl, Riri.
But this is what I'm talking about. When I say that you look for bridges, right? I'm always looking for the bridge of connection. And spirituality was a huge bridge for me with fashion. But just being able to see yourself in a different light. Like I said, I'm 49, you're 31, great turn 31.
No, about to
Of
turn into
32. And
Monica.
to see that, like, look how the connectiveness, it's not about age, it's about spirit so many times. Okay, so the next one, when I look in the mirror now,
When I look in the mirror now, I see a woman who is finally choosing herself. And I've never looked back. I pride myself on saying H to the no. I
mm,
won't, I'm sorry. Can't help you. And really just been doing a lot more things afraid. Like the
mm,
boldness is taking over. Um, and just very much that girl, but a blessed girl. A blessed girl. Really have to tell myself that. There are days where, we might think about everything that's going wrong, but you have to remind yourself that you are still blessed and it could be worse. So I feel like I'm very blessed
I'm,
at this time.
if you could tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
Mm. Oh, that girl. I would tell her that the opinions of others does not matter and that you are so worthy of so much more than you even think. And to never let people run you out of a room that you were made to be in.
Mm. Oh
You
my
were,
God, t-shirt, baby.
you were meant to be in that space. And so, yeah, I would just tell her that. I think there was a lot of times where I did ballet for a really long time. And being a black ballerina back in the day was really tough when I was growing up. And so being in a lot of different white spaces was challenging. And
Mm-hmm.
so going after those lead roles, knowing you're just as good, if not better, than some of the girls, I would let that get in my head a lot because I was just dealing with people who have never seen anybody that looked like me before and looking at me as like the ghetto chick, coming in and things like that. And so I would let those situations kind of run me away or to shrink because I'm like, oh, let me tone it down a little bit. Maybe I don't need to turn up every single time I'm out there, but I didn't know any other way to move in those spaces because, like, God gave you this gift. You can't get away from it unless you quit, unless you
Mm.
quit. And I would kind of walk out of a lot of rooms because I'm like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't be here. Yeah, so I would definitely tell her, no, you were supposed to be there.
I love,
Put
love,
your
love.
butt down, girl. Keep going.
Look, you are never too much for the right crowd. And sometimes we put ourselves, the interesting thing that I've learned in my life is if you put yourself in rooms with people who have doubted you previously, you will continue to be disappointed. You will
Yep,
continue to be disappointed. Like sometimes you have to realize in order to become your fullest self, you have to break free of the chains of needing people's approval. You just have to, and that can be very scary. And but it is like one of the best mental moves you can make for yourself. It's when you stop allowing yourself to be broken down by people who don't even like themselves, because a lot of the times when people talk to you nasty, it's because somebody's talking to them nasty, and it's perpetuating this endless cycle of sit the hell down. That's we was trying to keep it, trying to keep it together, but
but yeah.
that's how we doing. So tell people where they can reach you, how they can reach you, if they're looking for stylists, how they can get in contact with you.
Yes, 100%. So you can follow me on Instagram at Glow with Kayla. There's two underscores there. Also, I'm trying to get a little bit more young with the clock app, the TikTok people. You know, I was not a TikTok girl at all, but I'm starting to like the people over on TikTok. They show a lot of love, so you can follow me at Glow with Kayla on TikTok as well. And I'm always open to helping people improve their style. That's not something I talk a whole lot about, but I have gotten some DMs from some people who are asking to have some virtual styling consultations. So if you're interested, please hit me up. I'm always looking forward to pushing some people out of their comfort zone. And so if you are ready to be pushed, I'm still going to honor you. I'm still going to honor what you like. But I want to get to the why is why you shy away from certain things, and we can work with each other on that.
And this is what I'm talking about. This is why I said I was so excited to talk to you, because I feel like you are a perfect blend of I'm gonna pray for you, but
Thank
I'm
you.
also gonna yoke you up. I'm gonna yoke you up, okay? What I'm about to say to you might hurt your feelings, but I'm gonna brush you off, and then you're gonna look good.
I love that you said that because I took a quiz recently, and I really want to yell at my friend for making me take this quiz, and it was a friendship quiz, sister girlfriends quiz or whatever. And I got my results back, and it said I was a firecracker, and I said, "Oh God, red flag, red flag." I'm like, what does that mean? You know? And I'm reading it, and it says you're the friend that is very honest. It might not come out the way that people want you to say it, but you have very good intentions. And I said, that's me, hands down. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I love you, but I'm gonna have to go there with you. And then I'm gonna give you a hug and we'll be okay.
Yeah. Would you like a cup of juice, a glass of wine, soda, tea? No? You're gonna drink your tears. You're just gonna drink your tears. You can't even drink. We gotta go out. I was the friend who used to say stuff like, you got about an hour to cry, and then after that you need to stop because you look like a blowfish. They like, yo, what is
Like, girl, tighten up. Literally. Come on. Get inside. And then we gotta go. Love you.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast. Let me try to be an adult. Everything. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. I really have enjoyed having these conversations with you. But honestly, our first conversation could have been a podcast because it was good. It was really good. It was really good. But please like, share, subscribe, go follow Kayla. I'm telling you, you're going to be inspired by her. And it's not just the style, it's the aura that she has. And that, to me, is like chef's kiss. So you guys be good, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye. Okay, guys. So, did you enjoy it? Because I did. I feel like Kayla dropped so many gems about self love, self reflection, about understanding that your faith is your number one fan, right? Having faith in yourself, having faith in God, learning how to have faith in others, but learning how to choose yourself every day, figuring out what things spark light into you, what things breathe life into you, what things deflate you, and learning how to ask yourself, like, how can I style myself with more self-love this week? What makes me feel loved? And absolutely bathe yourself in it. I encourage you to go connect with Kayla. I'm telling you, her page is so inspiring because it's her being unapologetically her, but also she's on TikTok being a little more cash and introducing you to herself in a way that you never would. So I encourage you to think about what your style does for you. If it doesn't breathe life into you, if it doesn't um create light in your eyes, maybe think about that, right? What you wear can heal you. What you wear says so much about you. And this isn't a you need to be trendy conversation. This isn't a you need to dress like me conversation. You want to dress as the best version of you for you, so that the confidence that you feel from that outfit can somehow seep into your body and help you build confidence on the inside. Because once you build that confidence on the inside, there is not one person who can break that from you. I'm telling you, it's something about that grown woman confidence that when somebody says something negative, when somebody says, I could never wear that, when somebody says, why would you wear that? It rolls off your back in a way that will annoy an evil spirit, baby. I'm just telling you that. Remember, we're all healing from the inside out, and we are learning how to what? Articulate our feelings, wants, needs, and desires so that we can better advocate for ourselves and the people that we love. I will talk to you guys next season, and thank you so much for being a part of the Healing Through Conversations podcast with me, Lovely. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you found some healing, connection, and joy. Until next time, bye, loves.